Hi everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And I'm sharing from the book The Promise, which is the biography of my guru, His Eminence the 25th Samtuku Rinpoche. Actually, I have reached almost the end of the book, and before I close it off with the addendum, I would like to revisit the 24 lives, the reincarnation of my guru. So we will go to the prologue, page 1. Across many lifetimes. Page 3. Tulkus are the incarnations of highly attained beings who take rebirth for the sole purpose of benefiting others. They manifest their compassion by taking on the spiritual responsibilities of their previous lives, upholding and sharing the Buddha's teachings. Page 4. The caption of the picture. One of His Eminence the 25th Samtuku Sam Rinpoche's previous incarnations dates back to a direct disciple of the 14th century Buddhist scholar and saint, Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Tsongkhapa is popularly known as the second Buddha and is the founder of the Gelugpa school of Tibetan Buddhism. His Eminence the 25th Sam Rinpoche comes from a glorious line of illustrious incarnations, the earliest of which dates back to the time of Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. Many incarnations later, Rinpoche returned as a direct disciple of Lama Tsongkhapa, the founder of the Gelugpa school of Tibetan Buddhism, who is also commonly known as the second Buddha in Tibet. Possessing full control over his rebirth throughout countless lifetimes, Rinpoche has returned among us today, using his pure compassion and omniscient wisdom solely to benefit each and every one of us. Rinpoche is also a Tulku. Some Tulkus are the incarnations of highly attained beings who take rebirth for the sole purpose of benefiting others. They manifest their compassion by taking on the spiritual responsibilities of their previous lives, tirelessly upholding and sharing the Buddha's teachings. Page 5. As Tulkus have such an impactful role on the preservation and growth of Buddhism, there are many stringent guidelines for the identification and recognition of Tulkus in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, all of which are verified by highly attained teachers, including figures such as His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and the Dharma protectors Satrap and Dorje Shugden through the official oracles of the monasteries. Rinpoche has been recognized as a high incarnate master by many esteemed teachers such as His Holiness Kapje Dzong Rinpoche, His Eminence Khenso Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche, and His Eminence Ganchen Rinpoche, and all 24 of Rinpoche's illustrious previous lives have been formally identified and recognized by Dorje Shugden via the Venerable 7th Panglong Oracle. Rinpoche's first recorded incarnations is Magadha Zangmo, a student of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, whose contribution to the practice and growth of Buddhism was so significant that she is immortalized in the scriptures of all three Buddhist traditions, Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Caption of the picture, which is on page 6. This Gelugpa refuge tree or merit field, which bears the signature of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, depicts the deities and unbroken spiritual lineage of Dharma teachers, which stems from Buddha Shakyamuni himself. Lama Tsongkhapa, year 1357 to 1419, the founder of the Gelugpa school, is the central figure of this lineage. The main figure on the true right is Maitreya Buddha, who leads the lineage of compassionate activities, while the main figure on the true left is Manjushri, who leads the lineage of wisdom activities. This assembly of deities and gurus is used as a focus of meditation for Gelupa practitioners. As you can see, this is the Guru tree with Lama Tsongkhapa in the middle. And page 8. The powerful spiritual imprints of His Eminence Sam Rinpoche are evident in his inspiring life story, which illustrates the unshakable and relentless pursuit of Dharma despite all odds. Rinpoche was also previously Mahasiddha Virupa, the great 9th century yogi and abbot of Nalanda Monastery, who performed incredible miracles, one of the most famous being his ability to stop the sun from setting. He brought countless beings onto the Vajrayana path. Tomi Sambota, one of the most important ministers of the 7th century Tibetan emperors Songtsen Gampo, and the inventor of the Tibetan script. He also brought the first Buddhist texts from India to Tibet. King Trison Detsen, the second of the 3 great Dharma kings who restored Tibet to its former glory and initiated the first dissemination of Buddhism in the land of snows. Mahasiddha Naropa, one of the 84 great Mahasiddhas of ancient India, who was renowned for his devotion to his guru Tilopa. Naropa is also the father of the Rajayogini Tantras. Hence, this powerful female Buddha is also known as Naropa's Dakini or Narokacho. Lord Sattva Loden Sherab, the prolific translator and teacher who single-handedly translated over 135,000 verses from Sanskrit to Tibetan. Loden Sherab also brought the lineage and practice of Dharma protector Satrap from India to Tibet. Ra Lotsawa, one of the most famous translators and an enlightened sorcerer, who introduced and successfully spread the powerful Yamantaka Tantras throughout Tibet in the 11th century. Page 8. Shakya Sri Bhadra, the famed Indian Pandit, who was head of the incomparable Indian institutions of Dharma learning, Vikramasila and Nalanda. He gave a wealth of sutra and tantra teachings in Tibet, including the 5 main texts of Buddhist philosophy. Butong Rinchen Drup, the pioneering scholar and translator who completed the monumental task of compiling the Kangyo, which is the spoken teachings of Lord Buddha, and Tangyo, the commentaries written by Buddha's spiritual heirs, which are the 2 principal references for all schools of Tibetan Buddhism today. Shakya Pandita, the 4th Shakya throne holder, whose excellence in debate was so formidable that he silenced 6 theoretical scholars, including the renowned Harinanda. His influence spread as far as China and Mongolia, where he performed the miracles of the Emanation Temple. He authored over 100 texts and translated many important works. Dozin Drakpa Gyaltsen, one of the 8 main disciples of the renowned scholar saint Lama Tsongkhapa. Amongst his greatest contributions to Buddhism was the building of Ganden Monastery in Tibet to uphold and preserve the teachings of his master, thus paving the way for the Gelupa tradition to become one of the fastest growing Buddhist traditions in the world today. Panchen Sonam Drakpa, the unparalleled master who was the only person in history to become the abbot of all 3 great Gelupa monasteries, Ganden, Sera, and Drepung, in a single lifetime. He was also the tutor to His Holiness the 3rd Dalai Lama, the abbot of Gyutong Tantric College, and the 15th Ganden Tripa, the throne holder of the Galupa lineage. Emperor Kangxi, the second Qing dynasty emperor to rule over China. He was one of China's greatest and most benevolent emperors who stabilized the empire, brought economic prosperity, and was a great patron of Chinese art and culture. Gedun Nedrak, the 19th century master and the 72nd abbot of Ganden Shatze Monastery, who restored the damaged buildings of the monastery and reinstated the monastic rules, regulations, and administrative systems. Khentrul Thupten Lamsang Rinpoche, a great Buddhist scholar and teacher who single-handedly and tirelessly made Buddhism flourish in the region of Pari, Tibet. The caption of the picture: Rinpoche's first recorded incarnation is Magadha Sangmo, a student of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni. Page 10, caption of the picture: Magadha Sangmo, the great female student of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, began the tradition of offering food and incense, which is still practiced today. Magadha Sangmo. Sam Rinpoche's very first recognized incarnation was Magadha Sangmo, the daughter of Sudatta, who was a disciple and primary patron of Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. It was Sudatta who built and offered Buddha the first monastic abode called Jetavana. Sudatta's practice of generosity earned him the name Anatta Pindika, which translates as feeder of the homeless and helpless. It was also Sudatta who established the correct attitude to follow when sponsoring the virtuous work and deeds of one's guru. Following in the footsteps of her father, Magadha Sangmo began the tradition of offering food and incense to the Buddha and his monastic community, which is still practiced to this day. She is perhaps best known for single-handedly bringing Buddhism to thousands in the city of Gokara. Magadha Sangmo invited the Buddha and his entourage to Gokara to partake of a meal by offering incense and heartfelt prayers from the rooftop of her home. When the Buddha and his entourage miraculously descended from the sky, the very next day to partake of the food offerings and give teachings, thousands developed faith and their minds turned to Dharma. Thus, Magadha Sangmo's story is one of pure devotion towards the Buddha. That in turn makes the Dharma available to countless others, and she is immortalized in the scriptures of all three Buddhist traditions, Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Through her faith, devotion, and selflessness in serving others, she achieved arhatship during her lifetime as a lay householder. Another indication that one does not need to be ordained in order to gain realizations. Page 11. Mahasiddha Virupa, 9th century CE. One of Sam Rinpoche's previous lives was great Mahasiddha Virupa, who lived during the era of the 84 Mahasiddhas of India. Mahasiddhas are yogis who have achieved great attainments through their tantric practice and as a result display unconventional and often controversial behavior attributed to their profound realizations of the teachings. Virupa was a monk and incumbent of Nalanda Monastery, who was later enthroned as its abbot. During the day, Virupa would debate, compose Dharma texts, and give teachings on the sutras, while at night he would secretly engage in the practices of Chakra Samvara. However, after many years of practice, without any apparent results, and after a series of bad dreams that he misread to be negative signs, he vowed to stop pursuing the Vajrayana path and symbolically threw his mala into the latrine. That very night, the female Buddha Nairatma appeared to Virupa in a dream and revealed that he was on the verge of spiritual realizations. The next day, Virupa retrieved and purified his mala, persevered with his practice, and over the next 7 days, gained increasing realizations until he achieved the 6th stage of enlightenment on the 7th day. Shortly thereafter, rumors began to spread in the monastery that he consumed meat and intoxicant. Others saw beautiful women in the vicinity of his chambers, although in actuality they were dakinis or celestial beings partaking of his chok offerings. Consequently, Virupa was evicted from the monastery for his supposed misdeeds. Thereafter, Virupa roamed the countryside as a wandering yogi and manifested outrageous behavior, which included frequenting brothels and drinking establishments, wearing flower garlands on his head, and putting all manners of random items into his mouth, like insects and radishes. This was also the period during which he performed many miracles, including parting the river Ganges. Amongst all his miraculous deeds, Virupa is perhaps most famous for stopping the sun from setting while drinking at a tavern. In the end, the entire kingdom, along with the king, became his disciples. With his eccentric ways, Virupa performed many miracles to bring countless beings to the Dharma. One of his foremost disciples was the Mahasiddha Dombi Heruka, who was one of the previous lives of Lama Tsongkhapa. You see the caption of the picture? The great Mahasiddha Virupa, well known for parting the river Ganges and stopping the sun from setting, was in fact a highly realized being known for his tantric practices. Right, and I'll stop here today. So tomorrow I'll be continuing on with the next reincarnation of Rinpoche. And thank you for sharing your time with me. And I'll end this session with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangjop Sencho Rinpoche, Make Panam Yishi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Toni To Rinpoche, Make Panam Yishi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Daso Jini Sapagi Wadi, Dandan Ruwa Guna Gampada, Kepa Jesu Nosan Trapai, Tamping Porindusa Seisho, Ke Wakuntu Yandala Madan, Rami Choki Palano Chochi, Sadam Langi Yate Razone, Doji Changi Wapangotusu, Ge Wadi, Yududa, Lama Sangi Druyun, Drewachika Malupa, Dei Salagopashu, Choki Gavusungapa, Chosunampa Pewala, Geki Samasiwada, Tunki Malu Samasho, Dadam Sangi Dusunda, Trewa Sangi Latini, Gewa Losan Trapai, Tampa Yuriva, Gushi. Ni modele sendele, ni mingu nyandele shi, ni sintatu dele pa, kunchu sumi jingilo, kunchu sumi ngotroso, kunchu sumi trasi sho, jesun lama kusen rapinchi, nampa trini chuchu kepada, losam tempe dromi sapsumi, dromi musatato ni gyushi. Gawe rawe kowe shingamne, benan dewa malu yuin, chen zik wan tenzin get soyi, shape shi de vadu den gyushi. Home don't be ngotru malupa, then they dala selduso, kodan dempa longchonam, kepa so shukden sell. Thank you. Hope that you join me tomorrow again.